All right, welcome to another episode of Mom Boss Life. My name is Karina Groombridge. I am your host, and this is episode 11. This is actually attempt number 2 because I had a little bit of a technology glitch. So I will be giving my guest tonight, Sara Wiles, just a second to join us. I know she was on before, and unfortunately I had to jump off because somehow I got switched to horizontal, and not really sure how I did that. But my guest tonight, Sara Wiles, she is an online business mentor to VAs, online business managers, and some really amazing women. She is also the co-host of the Happy Thoughts show, which I'll let her speak more to, but I've seen a few episodes and it is wonderful. Sara, I love what you do. Hello, Shauna. Thank you for joining us. All right, I am just waiting for my guest, Sara, to come and hop on. We were having some technical issues, of course, but that is, so be it with technology and Facebook. It is pretty good considering, we can chat and we're so very far away. So I can't really complain. But, Sara, you're back. I'm back. All right. And I will add... Let's see. Power of the internet. Ha!
How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Oh, good. I'm good. Sorry about that. Facebook is so weird. And what's funny is I'm usually the one that initiates on our show. So I'm not used to being on the other side. So I'm like, shoot, am I doing something wrong? Is there some, magical something? But I think it was just Facebook being Facebook. So thanks for having me.
It happens. Thank you so much for joining me.
Yeah. It's really funny because you know how you always think like you have more time than you actually have?
Yeah.
And I had to go run an errand with my husband and my son tonight. And then I was like, great, we'll go eat dinner really quickly. And then as long as I leave dinner at 6:45, I'll have enough time to get home, like wipe the oil off my face and get on here. And then I was like, no, I had to be home by 6:45. Anyway, everything is all working out and it's all good.
Amazing. And somehow, so I was just mentioning it. I don't remember if it was this one or the last live that I was doing, but I was just mentioning that this is half an hour early than I normally hop on. And I have 3 children in this house and it's being quiet.
Oh, that's
it's
amazing.
Crazy. I know. I also have my husband, my mother, and my father upstairs. So that is how this magic happens.
Yeah. It takes an army, right? It takes 3 adult humans to tame 3 tiny humans. I feel you on that. I'm just going to share this out to my page quickly, but keep talking. I can do 2 things at once.
You can multitask. That is an excellent idea. Yeah. Depends what it is.
Yeah.
How about drinking wine and joining you?
Okay, so that's amazing.
I'm multitasking right now.
I can drink wine and talk, but I cannot drink wine and write. Can you drink wine and write? Can you?
Mm-mm.
No. Yeah. No, I can't.
No, it's not in my skill set yet.
No.
Gotta work on that
My
one.
husband is great at it though, by the way. He can drink and go to town working. I'm like, the second I have 2 sips, I'm like, we're done here. So that's the end of anything productive.
Nice.
Yeah.
I don't really need to be like that. Well, on the ball, yes, but not like typing and putting out all sorts of stuff. So nice glass of wine, I'm good to go.
Amen. Cool. Well, thanks for having me.
Yes. Well, thank you so much for joining me. Now, I gave you a quick intro, although I don't know if it was on this one or the other one, but I would love to hear more about you and let our audience know more about you and just like, who is Sara? Tell us.
You got it. Cool. I don't know. She's usually tired. I'm like guzzling coffee or Zevias. So I'm an online business mentor for done-for-you service providers. So what that usually means is virtual assistants, online business managers, social media managers, but then sometimes it extends beyond that. And it's Facebook ads experts and web designers. And I have a couple other ones scattered here and there. I came to the online space in the beginning of 2017, so almost 2 years, and started as a virtual assistant because I had a 16-year-old, no, I sure didn't. I had a 16-month-old on my hip, and I just needed a way to be at home with him, to be present with him, and also make an income and feel like I was doing really great work in this world. And so that's how the virtual assistant business got started. Then I learned more skills, and so I started offering OBM services. I brought on a team of 8 all mamas to help me serve my clients.
Ooh, yeah.
Yeah. And then I did something crazy over the summer, which was decided that I wanted to start mentoring done-for-you service providers to help them start and scale businesses like I did. So I went wild and let go of over half my OBM clients because I knew I was capped out. I was at capacity. I couldn't, there was no like, oh, we'll just take one at a time and see how it goes. It was kind of like, make the decision, go all in, right? And now this is what I do full time. So it's awesome.
Amazing.
That answer it? Yeah.
Yes.
I'm just going to share this one more place. So if I'm looking here, it's because I'm like looking at the, anyway, so keep talking.
Yes. Okay. So you told us a little bit about how you got into your work. So let's see. When it comes to being a coach, like, do you feel like you've had to give up anything to go this route?
Have I had to give up anything? Ooh. You know what? There's nothing that comes to mind for me. Well, actually, that's a lie. Something definitely comes to mind. I never set out to be an entrepreneur. I think there's a lot of people in this space that are like, I've always wanted to be an entrepreneur, and I come from a family of entrepreneurs and all sorts of stuff like that. I never wanted to be an entrepreneur. It was never my thing.
Same here.
Same, right. And what's really funny for me is when I was doing corporate event planning full time, I actually was offered on multiple occasions to have people finance a business if I wanted to go into business for myself. And I turned it down 2 times. Cause I was like, no, and payroll and taxes and legal, right?
I feel like this was a sign to you much earlier on.
Right. And I was like, no. Yeah. So what I didn't realize about being an entrepreneur was that I was going to work 10 times harder for myself than I ever worked for anybody else. And I worked really damn hard for other people. So it's not like I went from being a slacker to working hard like everybody else did. I went from working really hard to working crazy hard. So, I think I work harder. So maybe I've just had to give up time and peace of mind and having somebody else be in charge of every different little moving piece. And now I'm in charge of all the pieces. So maybe that, I don't know. Do you resonate with that at all?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. Definitely. I'm still doing both. Like, I'm still in my 9 to 5 and doing the coaching thing. So haven't quite done the full transition, but I feel you. Being 100% responsible for, everything in your business can be a little daunting, but definitely doable for anybody out there who's like still on the fence or still like, oh, do I do it? Do I want to progress with it? Yes, it's amazing.
Yeah, totally. It's worth all the sacrifice and all that craziness, but it most certainly is sacrifice and craziness.
Yes, it's so true. There's a lot of hustle going on, but again, so worth it.
So worth it. Yeah.
Yeah. So I know you kind of jumped into this because you wanted to be more independent, more in control of your schedule, your time. How do you find, like, what does your kind of day-to-day look like?
So my son is now in preschool for 6 hours a day. 6 hours a day. But when I first started out as a virtual assistant, I had 0 childcare. And so I went, I think it was, I started my business in March of 2017, and he started school 3 days a week, 4 hours a day. So what is that, 12 hours a week? In October. So I think I had no childcare for 6 months. And that was a little crazy. So once I got a little bit of a relief, it was, like the heavens opened. God was singing and everything was great. So now I work from 9 to 3 while he's in school. And when he's not in school, I don't work. It was really important to me when I started my business that I was setting something up that allowed me to be present with him when it was time to be with him. And so, I don't, I don't work when he's home. When he goes to bed at night, that's another story. But if he's awake, he's got my attention, or at least part of my attention with, like, cooking dinner or something like that.
Yeah, exactly. Among the other priorities, like driving, cooking.
Right. Keeping him safe and, like, from running out into the road. So yeah. So that's what, like, a normal day looks like for me. I know exercising is really important for you. It's important for me as well. So that gets fit in there somewhere. And I make sure I have exercise options that allow childcare. So
True.
So
true.
So that's super helpful. But that's like a normal wake up, get kid to school, work while kid is in school, bring kid home, go for a run, go to the gym, come home, the whole thing.
Yes, that's true. But that whole thing looks very different to a lot of different people. So it's kind of nice to like get a glimpse into your world and what that looks like for you, right? Because I know some people are, let's say, morning people. They get up at the crack of dawn and get all their stuff done. Yeah, that was not me before, although I've adapted it recently to kind of work with the schedule. Although I would really love to sleep in the mornings. Although, like, with kids, like, that doesn't happen anyways.
No.
So you got to pick your battles.
What time do you get up now?
Oh, God. Like 5:45.
Okay.
Which is too early for me, but, you know.
Yeah.
Still.
What time do you go to bed at night? So how much sleep do you usually get?
Oh, God. Lately, it's been terrible because my kids are teething. I've got twins that are like 2.5 now.
I saw that, yeah.
So 2 times the teething. Not so good for the sleeping.
Yeah.
So, you know, we manage, but I've had like a permacold for 4 months. So, yes, I'm very much looking forward to the summer. Actually, you're in Florida, so I don't think you quite feel my pain. But we are having a snowstorm right now.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. So like, well, you know, fun of the winter stuff up in Canada is snowstorms. Yeah. And I think half of the school boards have closed for tomorrow already. It's not even tomorrow yet. So yes.
Oh my gosh. So, that is wild. Yeah, no, we live in like the land of, I mean, we saw like a brush fire on my way home from running an errand today. So like, yeah, we live in different places, which is, you know, awful when you see things like fires. But when you have toddlers like you do, it creates a whole nother thing because then they're so excited that there's police cars and fire trucks and, you know, it's like, yay, fire.
That's true.
So
you're right. We get very excited for fire trucks around
We get
here.
really, right? It's a totally different situation. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. There was an accident on the road the other day. My son was like, stop, I want to see it. I was like, no. He's like, but there's a police. Like there's a police car. I'm like, no, you keep driving. You don't stop for it. Anyway.
Man.
Yeah.
Fun times. Fun times.
Okay.
So, I'd love to know what traits do you feel that you have that really have helped you to succeed in the online space?
Yeah, this is so easy. I think specifically as it relates to the done for you field, so being, you know, in the back end of someone else's business, so many of the women that I work with feel like they need to know everything before they start their business or go get another client or whatever it is. And that's so not true. As long as you are resourceful, so that's the skill that I would say, you can learn anything, right? We live in this beautiful time where you know, Google and YouTube are at your fingertips at all times. So if you need to figure out how to use ActiveCampaign or MailChimp or Kajabi or anything, you can do that, right? What you can't teach yourself is how to be, or what I can't teach someone is how to be resourceful, right? So it's almost like the difference between the hard skills and the soft skills, you know?
Very
so
true.
I think resourcefulness is huge. And then I think the other piece there is just belief in yourself, that things are possible. And I think that's why, you know, things like mentoring are so powerful because you get to see what somebody else has done. And then if you don't yet believe it's possible for yourself, you can at least see that it was possible for someone else in the beginning, you know?
Yes.
What do you think?
I think that's so important, which is, again, part of the reason why I wanted to do the show, to kind of like see behind the curtains of how other moms are doing it. Because if you're like sitting there thinking, oh, maybe I should do a business, maybe not, like you're getting into the lives and the, you know, all the little details on other moms who have gone and done it. And I mean, just like you said, you'd never thought you were going to be an entrepreneur. I never thought I would be an entrepreneur. Never crossed my mind up until I had children, and I was like, wait a second, this is not working for me. Yeah. So I think it's so important to kind of like get that glimpse into how other people make it work. And if you haven't gone and invested in a mentor yet, then like this is a good glimpse of, hey, these people have made it work. You can too. So yes.
100%. Absolutely. Yeah. Yes. And I think too, like you kind of touched on this point, but I love how you keep saying glimpse behind the curtain, because in front of the curtain, everything looks beautiful and perfect.
Always.
And it never looks like that behind the curtain, you know? So I love that you said that, because I think that's really important for people who one for mothers, period, because forget about business.
Yeah.
Motherhood always looks messy behind the curtain. Sorry, but that's just true.
Or in front of the curtain.
Amen. Usually just in front of the curtain.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I think that's so important. I love that you do that and make that part of your show. I think that's awesome.
Yes. And to that point, I would love, and I'm sure our audience would love as well, to hear like what types of things do you struggle with? Like you've now, gotten past that beginner stage of like, can I do this, onto the regular clients and growing the business now. So I know that at every different stage, like there's a different struggle. And if you go in with that mentality of, oh, once I figured this out, it'll be easy. I hate to break it to you. No, it doesn't work like that. So I'm curious to know, like, what right now are things that are kind of coming up for you that you need to really get past and get over?
Yeah. So my struggles are usually always the same. I hate to say that. I wish I could say, hey, I've conquered this thing, but I think this is just a product of who I am as a person, and my struggles are generally always the same. So I like to call myself a recovering perfectionist. And so my
my God, I have that same title.
You too? It's a rough, girl, huh? It's real rough. I come from the corporate event planning space. So I did corporate event planning for 8 years before I worked for a startup for a year and then came online after that. But that's really a space where perfectionism is not only encouraged, it's how you find your success, right? So the only reason I was so successful, the only reason I kept getting raises and promotions and all of those things in the corporate event planning space is because I was a nut job and double and triple and quadruple checked everything and was the first person on site and the last person to go to bed and all of those things, right? So it really was instilled in my brain from this was my first job out of college that I kept for 8 years, that, perfection and the ugly side of perfection, which is running yourself into the ground and burning yourself out, is the way to find success. So that's been a very hard habit for me to break. And I honestly, Karina, I think it will always be a hard habit for me to break.
Really?
I've let go of a lot of the perfectionist tendencies, but what has stuck for a long time is the willingness and ability to work myself into the ground over and over and over and over again. So I have those workaholic tendencies, and that's kind of always my struggle. The perfectionist thing, I don't care about. I had somebody reach out to me the other day because they found a typo in one of my opt-ins, and I was like, that's cool, I'm not going to change it, like I got other fish to fry. You know what I mean? Like, that's fine. I'm not curing cancer, and like if I was curing cancer, that would be important, but I'm not. And so
I love that.
I let go of the perfection in some places, but like this is the kind of piece that has stuck for me. I work on it. I'm trying.
Yep, exactly. It's always a work in progress. No matter what stage you're at, work in progress. Amazing.
Yeah.
So can you tell us more about your Happy Thoughts show? I know I've seen a few episodes and I love it. I love your dynamic with your bestie. It's awesome.
Thank you.
So exactly, what do you guys cover?
Yeah, so Happy Thoughts was born in August of 2017, 8/8/17. And my best friend, Lacey Seitz, is also another online entrepreneur. And what's really cool is Lacey and I have known each other since college. We were college roommates and sorority sisters. So we've known each other for 16 years now. And when I came online and started the business, we had this really unique friendship and like biz bestie perspective because we had already known each other prior. So like we could kind of cut through the BS and be honest and truthful with each other. And we felt like that was a lot of what was lacking in the online space, right? So you would either get the above, in front of the curtain situation, like you've been talking about. And then you'd get like a little bit of the vulnerability and a little bit of like hey, the behind the scenes is a little messy too, but like, ooh, go in front. Don't see this for too long, right? And we just felt like there was nothing wrong with both of those things being true all of the time. And we wanted a space to talk about that. So that's what we did. So we talk mostly about, the honest thoughts about what running successful online businesses looks like. We're super results oriented. So we share lots of actionable steps, tips, tricks, all that kind of stuff. And we're just fun. And we've been best friends for 16 years. So half the time we're just
you get to just like
laughing which is really cool. So that's Happy Thoughts.
Awesome.
And
I guess Did your friend start her business at the same time as you did? Like,
She
it seems like
started
an interesting path that you both went on.
Isn't it so funny? I think she started it about a year before I did. And she saw success very quickly in her business, as did I. You know, so it was kind of like we were both on this, like she's always been a couple steps ahead of me. So we've just both been on this upward trajectory together, which has been a really neat experience to have with your real life best friend. Yeah.
Awesome.
And I really got into the online space because of her. So I have her to thank for this craziness.
Oh, that's amazing.
Yeah.
Gotta love it when people kind of pull you in. I think I've been starting that chain for some of my friends. So yes.
They're like, what do you do?
Like,
that looks fun.
Join me.
Come to the dark side.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Like, I will teach you.
Yeah, I got you.
Exactly.
I love that.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So I just want to kind of backtrack a little bit. So you had started, you said what is it? A small startup company. So, I lost my train of thought.
It happens to me all the time.
All the time. I swear, it's like mummy brain just like stays. I don't get it. Okay, so yeah, so I guess financially, like, did you find it a struggle to go from like business world to online world? How did that transition look for you?
You know, it's really funny because when I left the corporate event planning space for my startup job, I actually took a $20,000 pay cut. Right. Just a little bit. Which like seemed like such a big deal at the time. However, I was looking for more flexibility, you know, understanding that I had a child, all that kind of stuff, which, you know, was something that came with this new job. But it seemed frustrating at the time to take such a pay cut, but also I was, you know, like willing to do just about anything to, you know, spend more time with my son. And so, you know, it seemed like such a big deal at the time, but it was almost a blessing in disguise because it made it so much easier for me to replace that income now that we were kind of used to $20,000 less. Does that make sense?
Oh, that's a good point.
Yeah.
Excellent point.
So when I was replacing it, when I started my business, it was much easier for me to replace because I was already working with a little bit less. Yeah, I'm one of those like weird lucky people that, you know, booked out clients really quickly and scaled her business really quickly. Was there a lag time in there? You bet your butt. Are there more expenses? You know, for running your own business, for sure. But it, you know, it wasn't that awful. I also have a husband who is, you know, still currently, but I'm gaining on him, the breadwinner in our house, you know, and so we were not in such a situation where, you know, if the income dipped, we couldn't pay the bills. We were always okay. So, you know, because of him, I was able to, you know, take those chances.
Amazing.
Yeah.
I love the supporting husband. Awesome.
He's so supportive. He's so supportive. I'm like, not only do I have one show tonight, but I have two. So it's 6:45 and I have to go. Here's our child. See you later.
Oh, amazing.
Yeah. It makes such a big difference.
It really does. It really does. Yeah. My husband is now a really great cook for that reason.
Oh, bless him. Well, look, you just gave him the ability to hone in on his cooking skills. So
exactly.
Good job, you.
Exactly. We'll go with that.
Yeah.
And then when it's my turn to cook, I'm like, all right, okay. This is how I do it. Okay.
Totally forgot.
Yeah.
I love it.
Yeah.
I love it.
It's
awesome.
Yes.
Awesome.
So we talked about it a little, but do you have a self-care routine that you do on the regular?
I do. I would like to say it's a routine. I think that's giving it way too much credit. I've gotten better in the past probably 6 months than I was in the very beginning of my business. I did not take very great care of myself. Excuse me, in the beginning of my business. The one thing that is always consistent for me is exercise. You know, the degree to which I'm doing it and the frequency kind of shifts and changes, but it's always there. It's always consistent for me. This is so funny, but I have this. I've like never said this out loud. Do you run at all?
Only in soccer. Oh no. We lost you. I have a feeling you pressed a button and got booted out. So
sorry.
All right, there you go.
I give up with Facebook today. So you do or you don't run?
I do soccer, so I run in that.
I love that.
Yes.
So I always just say to myself, like, here's my baseline is I always want to be able to run 3 miles continuously. And as long as I'm okay doing that, it's all right if I'm not doing it every day, or, you know what I mean? Like, that's kind of I want to make sure I can always do that, which I can. And so exercise I'm always doing that. And then as, I've kind of figured things out in my business, wasn't going so crazy, like I was when it first started. I read books. I journal a lot. Have you heard of the 5-minute journal?
No, actually.
It is my favorite.
Oh,
so
go on.
the company that makes it is called Intelligent Change. It's, you can just order it off of their website.
Mm-hmm.
I believe it's a 1-year journal, and it's 5 minutes in the morning, 5 minutes at night. So it's quick, which you need something quick when you have a bunch of kids running around.
Yeah.
And you need something you can do, like, if they're in your face really quickly, right? So like my son even knows, like, oh, mommy's got to go journal now, right? And it asks you, it asks you in the morning 3 things you're grateful for. And so first thing in the morning, I'm usually like, sleep, a comfortable bed, like things like that. And then it says 3 things that would make this day great. So you can kind of use that to set your intentions for the day. And then you write an I am statement. And then when you go to bed at night, you write 3 things that made that day great. And I think that's it. Maybe there's one more thing. You'd think, like, after doing this for 5 years, I would actually remember what it says. But yeah. So, and then I use that a lot. And that's kind of about it, if we're being honest. How about you?
Oh, excellent. I like that. At the moment, I just kind of do like a free-for-all journaling. I'm still getting the hang of it because it wasn't really something I was used to before. Yeah. So if anybody out there has resistance, I had a lot of resistance to the word journaling. Kind of made me feel like I was a kid and, like, in school, like, oh, go journal something. But now I'm really seeing the value in the reflecting on what's going on, what you're doing. And it just kind of, like, gives you that opportunity to reflect and think about, what you've done, what you want to accomplish, and all that.
Yeah.
That's so important. And I also love to share, what people's routine is, or self-care routine, because again, also so important if you don't want to burn out and get overworked and just flat out quit because you're, too busy giving and giving and giving and not actually taking care of yourself. So yes, for sure. So important. Love it. So can you tell us a little bit more about your business? If someone wants to work with you, how does that work? How do you take on clients? Do you do group coaching? Do you do one-on-one coaching? What does that look like?
So I just launched a secondary thing, which I'll tell you about in a second, but most of my clients are one-to-one clients. I don't do group coaching or masterminds or any of that. I just do one-to-one programs. Then I also just launched something that I'm calling masterclasses. And so they are 90-minute deep dives into a specific topic that is helpful to online done-for-you service providers. So most of the content that I'm sharing is super value packed, and I give, like, very specific steps about, like, here's how to figure out your income goals. Here's how you know exactly how much money you're taking home if you're making this much money a month in your business. Like, I'm very detailed in that way with the content that I share. But sometimes there's things that, would take longer to explain than in a blog post. And I really wanted a way to help more women and affect more women and impact more women. I wanted a way to help people who couldn't, work with me one-to-one. I'm always booked out, if not on a wait list. So these are just master classes. So the one that we're doing later this month is called Content Planning and Repurposing Like a Pro. It's super affordable. It's $69. 50% of the profits go to Glennon Doyle's nonprofit, which is called Together Rising. She does a lot of great work for women specifically, and also lots of mothers. So I wanted a way to give back as well and give people the opportunity to give back. So yeah, I do one masterclass every month. This month is Content Planning and Repurposing. And so we're deep diving into how to plan your content, how to make sure that you're posting content that's actually connecting and converting with your ideal clients. Yeah. And then I'm sharing my back end, so my content planning and repurposing system, sharing Google documents and PDFs and all sorts of stuff so people can set up their own.
Oh, so that sounds fantastic. I love that.
2 ways. Yeah, I'm pumped for them. So this will be the first one.
Nice. That's a great idea. Good stuff.
So, thank you.
So if somebody wants to join in on that, how do they do that? Online
They can
on
just,
your
yeah,
website?
website is great. SaraWiles.co, no M, because there is a SaraWiles.com, and I think she's a photographer. I think she photographs Native Americans in somewhere in the Midwest somewhere. She's really cool. My husband talked to her. She was unwilling to sell us her domain.
Nice try.
So it's just CO. We tried. And then if you click on the Work With Me tab, you'll see that there's 2 drop downs, which is one-to-one and masterclasses.
Amazing. I love it.
Yeah. Thanks, girl.
So where do you hang out online so everybody knows? Because right now we're on Facebook. This is also going to be sent over to YouTube as well a little later on. But where do you hang out?
Instagram. I'm always on Instagram. This is why I love Instagram so much. Do you remember back in the day when Instagram first started and you were like, here's my lunch, here's my dog, here's my kid. Do you know what I mean? And you had a place to do that. And then Instagram got all like fancy and businessy and whatever. And now all of a sudden you like, can't post pictures of your dog on your feed. Although, I mean, you can, but so that's why I love Instagram stories so much, is because I feel like it gives people the peek behind the curtain that they really want. People actually want to see, like, what does your real life look like? I mean, I posted something the other day that was like always posting very honest things, but I was like, is anybody else ever super embarrassed when their cleaning lady comes when they haven't been there for 2 or 3 weeks, that like you're gonna gross them out? You know what I mean? Like I think my cleaning lady's grossed out by my bathroom right now. So I hang out a lot on Instagram, and I hang out a lot in stories.
Awesome. Nice.
Yeah. I mean, I'm on Facebook too a lot, but I love Instagram stories.
All right. So definitely head on over to Instagram if you want to connect with Sara. All right. So we're just about ready to wrap up. And I know this gives you enough time to hop onto your show. Maybe have a tiny break.
All good.
But I'd love to know, for our audience, have you got like 3 top tips that you love to share with your clients?
Top tip number 1 is consistency. The only way to start and scale a business and actually make money so that you don't have a hobby, you have a business, is to be consistent in what you're doing. I think the thing that people get wrong very often is that they will look at my business or your business when they're just starting, and they'll see, me posting 5 times a week and you posting 7 times a week, and go, well, that must be what consistency looks like, and I'm doing it. It's not enough if I'm posting 2 times a week, right? And it doesn't matter, right? Like, what matters is you're doing whatever you're doing consistently on a weekly, monthly basis. So you don't have to go from 0 to 60, like just go from 0 to 10 or 0 to 15 and set yourself up with something that's actually doable for you, because in the long run, that's how you stay consistent.
Yes.
So that's number 1. The second one, these are like the things that I'm always helping people with. The second one is stop being a squirrel. So here's the thing, and I'm sure you see this all the time with your clients. I bet you see this all the time with your clients, in fact. So we get this big idea, and we're going to start this business, and we're going to do this thing, right? But then we don't get the result that we want within the first month, because actually that's how business works, right? Like, it takes a minute. And then somebody squirrels to something else, right? And now they've joined an MLM, and now they're writing a new blog, and now they're, starting a Pinterest strategy. Now they're doing all these crazy things, when if they just stuck with the first thing for, 90 days, 3 months, 6 months, they would 100% see results, because there's no way, if you don't stick with something, that you're not actually going to see the results from it.
True.
So stop being a squirrel. Split focus yields split results, and just pick one thing and stick with it. That's the second one. And then I think the third is what we talked about a little bit earlier, which is belief. I think belief in yourself and belief in what's possible. If you don't believe something is possible, I promise you it won't be. So if you can't yet integrate that into your brain, that like, this is possible for me, go find someone who it's been possible for and watch them and borrow their belief until you can actually believe it's true for you deep down inside.
Yes. I love that.
I got
It's like fundamental of my business. Because really, like, if you don't think you can, well, you can't. You're not going to do it.
Nope. And we can't help you. Like, if you don't think you can do it, we can't, we can't make you believe. So we can help you, but we can't make you.
Yes. So true. So true. Yeah. Well, thank you so much, Sara. It has been a pleasure having you on.
Thank you so much.
Yes.
Your
and
kids
for
were so
anybody-
great, by the way. So your
Oh my
husband
God,
and your
I know.
mom and dad deserve so much credit this evening, as do you,
I
by the way.
know. Everyone is so quiet. I'm so impressed.
You
Although I
should
have
just
my
stay.
baby.
Oh, go ahead. I was going to say, you should be like, this was a 2-hour interview. So, like, stay up there. I need some more time.
I'm still working.
I'm still working.
Yeah. Actually, it's bad. I have my baby monitor like just to my right, so I
Mm.
can see like the lights that go off. It's like, oh yeah,
yeah.
someone's yelling right there.
Oh, yeah. Turn it down.
Okay.
They'll be fine.
Exactly. They'll be okay. They'll be fine.
I love that.
All
Well, thank you
right.
so much for having me. It was a pleasure.
So yes, thank you so much. And for everybody who is watching, actually, I'm sorry, I forgot to mention this earlier. If you have got questions for Sara, if you want to reach out to her, go find her on Instagram, find her on Facebook, find her on the web, like whatever, or drop your comments here as well. We can circle back around after to come and answer any questions you might have. So thank you so much, everyone, for watching. It has been a pleasure, and we will speak to you soon. Take care.
Have a good night. Thanks.
You too. Bye.
Bye.